Namaste, angels. This is the daily reading for Friday, May 18th. Should take us through the weekend, although I may do something for the 19th for Malcolm X since I didn't go over him during the weekly. Also, I left out of the weekly Ramadan. And I don't know how I forgot because there was something, I kept saying there was something else about the moon and I thought I had covered it. And maybe I just wasn't meant to because the first portion already went 44 minutes without me including Ramadan with all the stuff that was going on in the sky this week. But Ramadan would normally have started on the 16th because of the new moon. However, the moon wasn't seen in Saudi Arabia. So therefore, the official start of Ramadan moved to the 17th, which was yesterday. So again, Ramadan officially has started, and we'll keep that in mind too as we go through the reading. So let's get to the significant events for this day, May 18th, beginning with the year 1291, when Mamluk Sultan al-Sharaf Kahil and his forces take the last Christian stronghold of Acre. 1804, Napoleon Bonaparte is proclaimed Emperor of France by the French Senate. 1896, Kodinka tragedy. A mass panic on Kodinka Field in Moscow during the festivities of the coronation of Russian Tsar Nicholas II results in the deaths of 1,389 people. 1974, India becomes the 6th nation to explode an atomic bomb. 2009, Sri Lankan Civil War. The LTTE are defeated by the Sri Lankan government, ending almost 26 years of fighting between the two sides. Did you know Dracula by Irish author Bram Stoker is published by Archibald Constable and Company in London on May 18th in the year 1897. Famous birthdays: Nicholas II, Frank Capra, John Paul II, Reggie Jackson, Yun Fat Chow, and Tina Fey. Would you believe Academy Award, first called Oscar in print? So this is the first time it was written, Oscar, and was done by Sidney Skolsky on May 18th in the year 1934. Famous weddings: 1152, Eleanor of Aquitaine marries Henry of Anjou, handing the future King Henry II of England most of France and allowing future kings of England to claim France for centuries thereafter. 1514, Frances, Duke of Valois, later Francis I, marries Claude, Duchess of Brittany. 1964, guitarist Richie Blackmore, 19, weds Margaret Volkmar. 1996, NFL Buffalo Bills quarterback Jim Kelly, 36, weds former marketing director Jill Wagoner, 27, at St. Christopher's Catholic Church in suburban Buffalo. 1996, As the World Turns actor Sean Christian, 30, weds personal trainer Deborah Quinn in Gun Lake, Michigan. And 1989, Lisa Strawberry files for divorce from Daryl. Famous deaths: Jeanette Rankin and Elizabeth Montgomery. Elizabeth Montgomery was American and an actress, a film and TV actress with several Emmy nominations to her credit, but is most remembered for playing the witch with the twitchy nose, Samantha, in Bewitched. She was born on April 15th in 1933 and was an Aries from Los Angeles, California, USA. She died on May 18th in 1995 at the age of 62 of colorectal cancer. Jeanette Rankin is also American. She's the first woman elected to Congress, a prominent politician and women's rights advocate. Rankin became the first woman elected in the United States Congress in 1916 and helped to pass the 19th Amendment, giving women the right to vote. As a lifelong pacifist, Rankin supported non-intervention and opposed America's involvement in both World Wars I and II. Throughout a career that spanned more than 6 decades, Rankin championed causes for gender equality and civil rights. Rankin has been described as one of the most controversial and unique women in Montana and American political history. She was born on June 11th in the year 1880 and was a Gemini from Missoula, Montana, USA. She died on May 18th in 1973 at the age of 92 of natural causes. Going up to the birthdays. Tina Fey is 47 years old. She's American, an actress and writer. She's famous for Saturday Night Live and 30 Rock. She was born on May 18th in 1970 and is 47 years old, a Taurus from Upper Darby Township, Pennsylvania, USA. Yun Fat Chow is from Hong Kong, and he's an actor famous for his starring role in the blockbuster films such as The Killer, Hard Boiled, and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. He was born on May 18th in 1955 and is 62 years old, a Taurus from Llama Island, Hong Kong. Reggie Jackson is 71 years old. He's American and was an MLB right fielder. He played 21 seasons in the MLB, Major League Baseball, for 5 different teams from 1967 through 1987. He was nicknamed Mr. October for his clutch hitting in the postseason with the Oakland A's and the New York Yankees. He is perhaps the best remembered for hitting 3 consecutive home runs in the clinching game of the 1977 World Series. He was born on May 18th in 1946 and is 71 years old, a Taurus from Winecoat, Pennsylvania, USA. John Paul II was Polish. His full name was Karol Józef Wojtyła, and he was Polish, the 264th Pope, the second longest serving Pope, and the first non-Italian for over 450 years. He held office from 1978 until his death in 2005. Polish-born, he supported the Solidarity movement in Poland and was influential in the fall of the Eastern Bloc. As Pope, he visited 129 countries. He upheld Orthodox beliefs on issues such as sexuality and abortion and improved relations with other faiths. He was born on May 18th in 1920 and was a Taurus from Wadowice, Poland. He died on April 2nd in 2005 at the age of 84. Frank Capra was both American and Italian, a film director. Capra's family immigrated to the United States when he was only 5. Capra rose to become a self-made man and one of the most influential film directors of the 1930s and 1940s. Some of Capra's most famous films include It Happened One Night in 1934, for which he won Best Director, You Can't Take It With You in 1938, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington in 1939, and however, today, Capra is particularly remembered for It's a Wonderful Life in 1946, starring James Stewart. That's one of my most favorite movies of all time. He was born on May 18th in 1897 and was a Taurus from Bisacchino, Palermo, Italy. He died on September 3rd in 1991 at the age of 94. Lastly, for the birthdays, Nicholas II, whose full name was Nicholas Alexandrovich Romanov, was Russian and a Tsar. Nicholas II was the last emperor of Russia, Grand Duke of Finland, and titular king of Poland. His disastrous reign saw Imperial Russia go from being one of the foremost great powers to one of the foremost great powers of the world to economic and military collapse. I don't know why I'm getting tongue-tied. His reign saw several disastrous events for Russia. At the coronation festivities, a stampede resulted in the deaths of nearly 1,400 people. In 1905, Russia was decisively defeated by Japan during the Russo-Japanese War, and the Russian Baltic Fleet was annihilated by the Japanese Navy. Nicholas approved the mobilization in 1914, which led to Russian entry in World War I. This conflict was catastrophic for the country and for the House of Romanov, with over 3 million Russians killed and sharp deterioration in living conditions across the country. Though it was part of the Allies, Russia was defeated by Germany. The influence of Grigory Rasputin over the Russian monarchy, given his supposed ability to heal Nicholas's hemophiliac son, Tsarevich Alexei, helped to lead to his downfall. The war directly led to the Russian Revolution in 1917, which Nicholas abdicated following riots, and the Russian monarchy collapsed. He and his family were taken into custody and executed by the Bolsheviks in Yekaterinburg in July of 1918. He was born on May 18th in 1968 and was a tourist from St. Petersburg, Russia. He died on July 17th in 1918 at the age of 50 of assassination. And he was the last of the birthdays. Ramadan. Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar, and it's observed by Muslims worldwide as a month of fasting to commemorate in the first revolution of the Quran to Muhammad, according to Islamic belief. Now, as I remember it, the official day on which that is celebrated, and I remember it because it's my ex-husband's birthday, and is on June 10th, the day that Muhammad was given the words of the Quran. But Ramadan begins now. So it's the celebration of this revelation according to Islamic belief. The annual observance is regarded as one of the 5 pillars of Islam. The month lasts 29 to 30 days based on the visual sightings of the crescent moon, according to numerous biographical accounts compiled with the hadiths. So that's why I said it didn't start on the 16th when it was supposed to. The word Ramadan comes from the Arabic root ramida or ramad, which means scorching heat or dryness. Fasting is an obligation for adult Muslims, except those who are suffering from an illness, traveling, are elderly, pregnant, breastfeeding, diabetic, chronically ill, or menstruating. Fasting the month of Ramadan was made obligatory during the month of Shaban in the 2nd year of the Muslims' migration from Mecca to Medina. Fatwas have been issued declaring that Muslims who live in regions with a natural phenomenon such as the midnight sun or polar night should follow the timetable of Mecca. But the more commonly accepted opinion is that Muslims in those areas should follow the timetable of the closest country to them, which night can be distinguished from day. While fasting from dawn until sunset, Muslims refrain from consuming food, drinking liquids, smoking, and engaging in sexual relations. So they fast from everything until sundown. Muslims are also instructed to refrain from sinful behavior that might negate the reward of fasting, such as false speech, insulting, backbiting, cursing, lying, etc., and fighting also, unless it's in self-defense. Pre-fast meals before dawn are referred to as suhoor, while post-fast breaking feasts after sunset are called iftar. Spiritual rewards for fasting are also believed to be multiplied within the month of Ramadan. Fasting for Muslims during Ramadan typically includes the increased offering of salat or prayers, recitation of the Quran, and an increase of doing good deeds and charity. So in the past, during Ramadan, I've reminded people particularly of that. Suggested that some of us who are not Muslim may still want to fast because it's not about necessarily being Muslim. It's about receiving word, from believed to be from God, and a personal journey of spirituality and like connecting. So we want to do that. But also, if you pray, it's a good time to increase the amount of times that you pray, particularly before sundown. Make intentions. It's a good time to do that. A lot of spiritual energy right now. So yeah, I had decided to go ahead and explain what Ramadan was. I guess also because of the Malcolm X birthday, he was indeed a Muslim. So I'll just mention a little bit about him here too. Also from Wikipedia, Malcolm X lived from 1925 through 1965. I don't know why they're just giving the years when we have his birthday. His birthday is May 19th. His date of passing is February 26th. If I remember correctly, it's February 26th. I believe so. This is off the top of my head. And yes, I do remember dates of people's birthdays and their dates of their death. But I don't know, for some reason, it doesn't feel like that's absolutely correct. 21st, not 26, 21st. That feels right. All right, in any case, let me move on because they just have the years here. And you'll see the same if you sign on to Wikipedia and, Malcolm X. In any case, he was an African-American Muslim minister and human rights activist. To his admirers, he was a courageous advocate for the rights of blacks, a man who indicted white America indicted white America in the harshest terms for its crimes against black Americans. Detractors accused him of preaching racism and violence. He has been called one of the greatest and most influential African Americans in history. His father was killed when he was 6, and his mother was placed in a mental hospital when he was 13. And this happened because they took her kids from her after her husband died. He was murdered by the KKK, and the insurance companies called it a suicide. So once they ruled it a suicide, she couldn't receive the insurance money. So here she was trying to take care of these 8 kids, basically with no money. Then the government stepped in. It was all part of the plan. Then the government stepped in, took her kids away from her. That drove her crazy, and she was put in a mental institution. So they left that out, at least thus far. And it does go on to say that after which he went on to live in a series of foster homes. In 1946, at age 20, he went to prison for larceny and breaking and entry. While in prison, he became a member of the Nation of Islam, also known as NOI, changing his birth name Malcolm Little to Malcolm X, because, as he later wrote, Little was the name that the white slave master had imposed upon his paternal forebears. After his parole in 1952, he quickly rose to become one of the organization's most influential leaders, serving as the public face of the controversial group for a dozen years. In his autobiography, Malcolm X wrote proudly of some of the social achievements the Nation of Islam made while he was a member, particularly its free drug rehabilitation program. The nation promoted black supremacy, advocated for, I don't know about that, nationalism, I would say, I don't know about supremacy, but whatever. Advocated the separation of black and white Americans, they did, and rejected the civil rights movement, right? You also have to understand the time. Separation was what everybody wanted. Whites wanted the same thing. This is like pre-integration and stuff. He rejected the civil rights movement because of its emphasis upon integration. Like black people begging to be let into these other, these what were public institutions that we had, from which we had been kept out. By March 1964, Malcolm X had grown disillusioned with the Nation of Islam and its leader, Elijah Muhammad, because Elijah Muhammad was not in keeping with their teaching. His life wasn't in keeping with their teachings. He had, children reportedly by various female members, of course, young ones too. And so, Malcolm wasn't feeling it. He left. Expressing many regrets about his time with them, which he had come to regard as largely wasted as a result. He embraced Sunni Islam at that point, and after a period of travel in Africa and the Middle East is in Africa, I don't know why they're separating this, which included completing the Hajj, which means he went to Mecca. Only Muslims are allowed to go to Mecca. He also became known as El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz. He repudiated the Nation of Islam, disavowed racism, and founded Muslim Mosque, Inc. and the Organization of Afro-American Unity. He continued to emphasize Pan-Africanism, black self-determination, and black self-defense. So what that part means is after visiting Mecca and spending time around other Muslims, quote unquote Middle Easterners, who didn't necessarily look like him. Some of them were fair skinned, right? Some of them were Ethiopian looking, after seeing all the different kinds, colors, shades, including, pale, white, Muslim, he was in a different space, as it related to race, and more so connected to just the spirituality of it. However, returning to America, he still had to face the injustices based on race. And so he continued to uplift Black people and try to heal us as a community. And for this, as well as the fact that he, brought, I guess he shone a light on Elijah Muhammad and what he was up to, he was assassinated. Many, like myself, believe together between the Nation of Islam and, the FBI, CIA, or the American government. This happened on February 21st in 1965. He was assassinated by 3 members of the Nation of Islam. I, in previous videos, when I first started, also basically did the math live on camera from the book of Daniel to come to what I believe to be the absolute truth, that Malcolm X is the person of the scriptures, at least for our time. I did the math down to the year 1965. This is why I say this. Who was to be the quote unquote anointed one who would be killed publicly before his work was finished. On that note, let's get to the reading. So if you hear that anywhere, it's mine. I said it. I said it. I wrote it. I did the math, like I said. So copyright Queen of Swords. In any case, going on to the dice. Buy shoes. Romantic dinner. And it's 50-50. Spirit says, buy shoes still. Dirty movie. And forget it. Yesterday we began with the 3 of air. Today is the 2 of air. And I think this is the second time this week. Being unable or unwilling to make a decision. A stalemate. Pretending there's no problem. So this is the energy of inaction. Opening 2, balanced. This may be connected to it's 50-50. Balance is temperance in the traditional tarot. A card of, of healing. It's a 5. So it indicates there's a need of a change of energy, right? That's needed. It can be about trying to achieve balance either from within or in general with another party. The need for balance and moderation, cooperation and compromise. Wait for perfect timing. So maybe that's why there's inaction. The 2 of air. We're waiting for perfect timing. Balance. I was also made to see the Ace of Water, so that may come up today too. 6 of Earth, like to made to see and to take particular note of the Ace of Water. Coming now to the 6 of Earth, which represents the planet Venus for me, although it's not a court card or anything. I just see Taurus, Libra, Gemini in this card. Gifts of money, time, or effort. New career opportunities, receiving a loan or paying off debts. And for me, in whatever regard, oneself, work, career, finances, love, even when dealing with strangers, this is a card of unconditional love. Excuse me. Balance or temperance. And the King of Water, who's trustworthy, compassionate, respected, and cultured. Open your heart and mind to those around you. Trustworthy and heartfelt advice and charity work, which for me is also love. And that's why this 6 of Earth is so much about love and unconditional love in particular for me, because it's about giving and receiving without agenda. Okay. Which is the same as which charity work is also, or at least it should be. The King of Water is a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, and it may be a Cancer moon on this day. The 18th may very well be a Cancer moon. If it's not, I'd say for sure by the 19th it will be. If it's still a Gemini moon, by the 19th, should be a Cancer moon. Into the 5 of Earth, fears surrounding money, the wisdom to accept help from others, and uncertain self-employment. The overall energy today is the 7 of Water, a complex decisions. We started out with the 2 of Swords, indicates that there's a need for a decision. And now the 7 of Water. So not just a decision, a complex one at that. The need to do research. Stop procrastinating. This card, although not a court card, also always tends to remind me of the planet Neptune and the sign of Pisces, which it rules, because it's like that dreamy sort of energy that I get from it. Foggy even, like not thinking clear-headed, just a whole bunch of stuff in the, in the mind. Can also be about having a lot of options, so not knowing which to choose. Maybe that's why you need to do research. Opening to the 4 of Air, time to rest or take a vacation. Allow more time before making a decision. This is our 3rd card of decision. I just started. Meditation may provide answers. Four of Air. And balance once again. Major Arcana card, balance or temperance. It represents a sign of Sagittarius, perhaps another fire sign. I did see a lot of fire as I was shuffling, which was interesting since I'm like, it's either a Gemini moon or a Cancer moon. I don't know what all this fire is. Maybe something going on with Mars, or maybe the effects of Mars, again, having entered Aquarius, for example, maybe connected to Jupiter, ruler of Sagittarius, which is currently retrograde in Scorpio. That's possible too. In any case, the need for balance and moderation, cooperation and compromise. Wait for perfect timing. That perfect timing may be after you do your research and or meditation for answers. Temperance and the Dreamer with Archangel Metatron. A leap of faith. Follow your dreams. That leads to unexpected opportunities. Major Arcana card, the Dreamer, is the Fool in the traditional tarot. And in this deck reminds me of the planet Mercury, ruler of Gemini and Virgo. And that would be 3 out of 4 of the mutable signs. And Pisces, I mentioned prior, is the 4th. Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius. Balance. Why did I shuffle again? I was about to cut again too. Our overall energy had been the 7 of Water. I'm going to stop here. Because obviously I was moved to shuffle again and then moved to, to notice and to stop. So let's go with the energy. Speaking of temperance and healing, there go the sirens. So I believe it is appropriate that this be our overall energy today. Crowning the masculine, it's the Star with Archangel Jophiel. So speaking of Mars and Aquarius, this could be showing up for that reason. The Star represents the planet Uranus and the sign of Aquarius in the tarot. Happy times, make positive, optimistic, long-term plans. You are on the right path. This for me is also about communication as an air sign, but when it relates to Aquarius, more specifically electronic communication or communication via an electronic means, including telepathy. Talking to each other with our brains. That could be the meeting of the minds represented by balance. And when I pick this up, it's upside down. But what's behind it? but the two of air with which I started. And this need to make a decision. So a decision may need to be made jointly. Again, a meeting of the minds, some sort of compromise on which we have to think. And maybe we'll do that electronically, as in telepathically. Other than that, this card, the star, is about wishes, coming true, dreams coming true. So in that sense, it could be connected to the 7 of water, which was going to be our overall energy, because the 7 of water is about what? Dreams, options, choices, fantasy. So they can be coming true now. Also, prayers being answered, wishes being granted. The masculine is surrounded by the 3 of earth, the power of creativity, recognition for very high quality work. Be a team player. 3 of earth is about abundance earned. That may be one of our dreams come true. Like, I've been waiting for this day where I get recognized for my efforts. Here it comes. 3 of earth, also potentially about a party of 3, being a 3. And in that regard, could have something to do with a love triangle, or maybe again connected to the 7 of cups and having more than one option, more than one choice at a position, a job, a career path, more than one choice of a relationship with somebody perhaps that we met at work or connected into our field or our career. More than one person that you're dating and you're trying to narrow it down. And that's why it's a complex decision. Well, I like them all for different reasons. Masculine subconscious, the 9 of fire. Don't give up. Protect that which you've created. Have courage and believe in yourself. Crowning the feminine, the ace of fire. An exciting new opportunity. Career advancement. Change your life now. This is not only an exciting opportunity, but it's one about which or whom we are extremely passionate. This would be like the opportunity of our dreams. A dream come true, as they say. Surrounding the feminine, the 5 of water. Things not turning out the way you'd hoped. Not seeing the positive in a situation and crying over spilled milk. This is the energy of lack of appreciation, because here we are surrounded by this energy of the ace of fire with a new opportunity being presented to us, and we're still not happy. We still don't have enough. We're still not thankful for what we do have. So watch this. If you feel this, watch this energy. This is energy of doubt, loss, pessimism. Oh, woe is me. Feminine subconscious. The 8 of fire. Events moving at a fast pace. Delays are over and many things are happening at once. The 8 of fire mirrors major arcana card, the star, which is also an 8. It's major arcana card number 17 equals 8. And I think the day before, these two cards showed up side by side, indicating communication. It's 50-50. Some from this side, some from this side. A meeting of the minds, a coming together to make a joint decision. Again, perhaps. Maybe the decision isn't all in your favor, and that's why you're unhappy, feminine. Maybe you have to make some sort of compromise, and you're not happy about that. Well, you know what? Tough. Okay, be thankful for that what you do have, which is the ace of fire and the 8 of fire. Things are moving in a positive direction in your life, even behind the scenes where you're, not actively a part. The universe is doing positive things for you. Be thankful. Crowning. The Chariot. An important achievement, self-discipline and willpower, public recognition. What's the 3 of earth about? Recognition, accolades, being recognized for your work, for your efforts in whatever regard, whatever area they are. It is abundance that we have earned. The Chariot is a major card of victory. It can also represent planes, trains, automobiles, travel, movement, all of these things. So they may, be different in different people's lives. Somebody may be getting a car, getting some sort of vehicle, or beginning a job, being given a position, a job that's somehow connected to travel or to a vehicle, driving a truck, flying a plane, something like that. And again, dream come true. At the root, the Queen of Fire. I told you there was a whole bunch of fire today. Confident, warm, intelligent, and graceful is the Queen of Fire. Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Assert your independence and creativity. The Queen of Fire is a Leo, Sagittarius, like that which is represented by Temperance or Balance, an Aries, or even a Scorpio, with both Aries and Scorpio being ruled by Mars, which is currently in Aquarius. Entered Aquarius on the 16th, so earlier this week. At the heart of the matter, the Two of Water. A relationship that continues to grow closer. Forgiveness and the positive resolution of a conflict. Here's the feminine's Two Cups. Okay, there's some sort of partnership that is important on this day or this weekend in her life. But again, maybe it does. There's more healing, the more sirens. Maybe it doesn't come through in the way that she would have hoped, or exactly how she would have done it, or heavily in her favor. Again, some sort of compromise has to be met, fair on both sides. Or how can both sides of an issue, meet somewhere in the middle? By employing that forgiveness and compassion. That's how we will resolve a conflict. Further clarifying the Five of Water for the feminine, what specifically it may be attached to for the most part. The Knight of Water, something involving love, romance, emotion. The Knight of Water is emotional, romantic, enthusiastic, and contemplative. He's also a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or someone likened to these traits or attributes, who's making some sort of proposal or in receipt of some sort of proposal that causes great emotional happiness and joy. Falling in love or wedding proposals. The need to balance emotions. Here comes this balance again. The Temperance, the healing at an emotional and spiritual level. Also can be about an invitation to a social event. So there can be a Knight of Water that comes into her life on this day that even chooses her, becomes a partnership. She's got the Two Cups, these Two Cups that are represented here, but not to the extent that she would have hoped or how she would have done it. And rather than be thankful for the opportunity to start something anew with this other party, whether it's a romantic interest or a friend or something having to do with work, she's not satisfied. Like as Prince said in the When Doves Cry song, maybe I'm just like my mother. She's never satisfied. The feminine often has this Five of Cups energy, and we need to work on that. Further advice to the masculine on this day for this weekend, the Tower. Life experience, Major Arcana card number 16, a significant life event. A powerful revelation that leads to change, right? Something could come telepathically. Light bulb just went on. I know what I have to do here. I know the decision. That could be Tower. Very suddenly, everything changes. It's time to spread your wings. Who else suggested that we spread our wings? The Queen of Fire here at the root. Stretch your wings and fly. So when we get this revelation, we realize I'm capable of, I can do this. We can fix this. I can have a meeting of the mind. I can be successful. I own that which I've earned. I own it, right? I'm going to defend it. I'm not going to slow down. I'm not going to back down. I'm not going to give up. I've earned this and I'm owning it. that can be the revelation for the masculine. But I will further clarify that card as well, since it. And did I say out loud that I felt the energy of the magician coming on? I don't know if I said it out loud, but that's what I thought when I pointed out that all the mutable signs were showing up. The magician represents the sign of Gemini for me, but also I attach it sometimes to the other mutable signs. So again, all 4 of the mutable signs are Gemini, Virgo, Pisces, and Sagittarius, all of which have been very prevalent during this reading. So I think the manifestation is at hand. And if you're down and out or feeling a loss and feeling a negativity with regard to, some energy attached to this 5 of Cups, maybe it's because you had thoughts like this of doubt and pessimism, that you failed to manifest the situation that you wanted in your life the way you wanted it. So work on that while we have the opportunity. You get this reading in advance so that you can know what the energy is and do what you have to do. That's the magician. Maybe we'll further clarify this one too to see, there's more sirens, to what or what exactly we may be trying to manifest. We know it's a new opportunity, or new opportunity is on its way. What might we have been specifically hoping for that we didn't get? First, the Tower for the masculine. The King of Air was brilliant, impartial, professional, and diplomatic. Speak your mind with confidence. Seek out professional advice. Balance mental and emotional considerations. So again, a card of communication. The King of Air is about communication, not just communication, but speaking your mind with confidence. Like I just talked up how this masculine is feeling, right? Not backing down, owning it, saying what he has to say. Actually, I got a message this morning. It's from a song. It was a channeled message. I was in Dunkin' Donuts buying a coffee, a medium coffee with almond milk, vegan, right? And all of a sudden my ears started ringing like crazy. And then I heard, say what you want to say. Let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave. And it definitely came through to me as the feminine speaking to the masculine. And I also, those of you who saw the readings that I did over the weekend, this came through in those too, that the masculine has something to say. And I believe last week also, and it's like, spit it out already. Honestly, I want to see you be brave, even if it's going to be hurtful, if it's we're going to have to work on something afterward, and forgiveness is going to have to be employed and come into the picture, whatever. Let's just get it out. Enough with this tight lip. I want to see you be brave. And so I think that's what this is too. The day on which I'm doing this reading, it's the 15th. It's currently 1:55, 11. So this is when I got the musical message, although the reading is for, again, the 18th and the weekend. I think it's all tied together. Masculine got something to say. Communication. Communication. I'll go one more. Queen of Earth. So again, can be something attached to career too, or someone attached to his career, or specifically an earth sign. This could be connected to Venus, ruler of Taurus. So just this sort of energy, the energy of a Queen of Earth, who is, a very warm and loving person. Grounded also. Since it's a general reading, can be definitely connected to financial or material situations, and him needing to speak up in that regard. Again, maybe something to do with his job or career or self-employment, a raise, a promotion, or something that he's due that hasn't happened yet. He's going to speak up. An opportunity that's been presented to him, he's going to volunteer, speak up, get that coin, the bag. All of these are possibilities. The Queen of Earth is thoughtful, creative, warm, and sensible. Make time for those around you. Take a sensible approach and deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. So in that regard too, using this energy in order to have this conversation where the forgiveness is needed. In order to say what he has to say, maybe not taking on so strict a tone, but you know, a little bit more warmth. Air signs can be known, although the king of air is the king of public speaking and diplomacy, air signs in general can be known to be a little cold, or at least we're taken that way. We're perceived to be that way. So intentionally employing a little bit more of this energy of warmth that the Queen of Earth offers in having this conversation that he needs to have. And the Magician for the feminine. What are we trying to manifest? Oh, Queen of Air, independent, experienced, realistic, and witty. Objective decision making, clearing away all that no longer serves you and seeing the humor in a situation. Queen of Air is a Gemini, like the Magician, a Libra or an Aquarius, or someone likened to these traits or attributes, who may have been, trying to more clearly define the situation that she wanted here, because that's what the Queen of Air does. Like, I want this in my life, I don't want that in my life, and we make adjustments. Could have been that. The next upright card is the Ace of Air. Brilliant new ideas and inspirations, seeing the truth in a situation and a challenging beginning. To maybe avoid the challenge, avoid the difficulty, and the fact that we had to experience any made me be in a, made us be in this sort of space of, oh, woe is me. Yeah, I got this, but look what I had to go through. Focusing on the negative rather than the positive. That's why I don't even like this line on this card. I always say, I don't know why they had to mention a challenging beginning. Yes, the energy of the Ace of Air is about a new beginning that, it didn't come easily. We had to go through some stuff in order to get this new beginning, this new opportunity. But I think it's more important that we're here now, right? Ace of Air also about victory, as is the Chariot. So this is hashtag winning too. No reason to feel Five of Cups. No legitimate reason, at least. And it's actually pretty obnoxious. So if you're feeling that way, feminine, get some Queen of Air in your life, some Ace of Air in your life, and cut that out and appreciate this new opportunity and this victory that's coming your way, and maybe even a loving relationship, whether it's with a friend or a romantic interest, or a partnership, a business partnership even, with somebody that you really vibe with. Sort of 29, right? Spiritual partnership, maybe. I hope that you guys enjoy this reading and find it helpful to you on Friday and over the weekend, and maybe even through Monday. Namaste, angels.